The 40-second Caitlin Clark commercial from Nike has went viral. Headlines everywhere, millions of views. There is a lot of hype. A'ja Wilson, on the other hand, is frustrated, ignored, and watching as the rookie phenom rules not only the court but also the sneaker game while the internet is going crazy over Clark's trademark sneakers. She's not taking it lightly, I assure you. Do you believe Nike has identified their biggest star at last? What does A'ja Wilson stand to gain from this? Caitlin Clark's first solo ad since joining the WNBA was finally published by Nike, and the outcome is exactly what you would anticipate from the WNBA spokesperson.
Guys, today Nike finally delivers Caitlin Clark PE.
This isn't simply another brand partnership from Nike. It seems like a big, unmistakable statement that perhaps, just possibly, they have now realized they have been funding the wrong side of the league all along. And this one must hurt if you're a fan of A'ja Wilson. On May 6, 2025, Nike launched A'ja Wilson's trademark sneaker, the Nike 01, in the pink Aurora colorway.
Everybody, this is A'ja Wilson from the Las Vegas Aces. Clearly, I had too much fun at my jersey retirement party, but I'm here to dive into the A1. Man, it feels pretty surreal to know that I am a Nike signature athlete and I have my first shoe.
According to reports, the first shoe release went incredibly well and sold out in 5 minutes. There was a significant aftermarket demand, as seen by the $230 to $300 resale prices on sites like eBay and Stocks, which were more than twice the $110 original price. It was first everything A'ja Wilson could have imagined. In less than 5 minutes, the pink Aurora colorway was completely gone from the stores. An important turning point for women's basketball in general, as well as for her career. This is when things start to become pretty intriguing. Nike didn't simply put A'ja Wilson's name on a sneaker and be done with it. They went all in. To make the Nike A1 a reality, they collaborated closely with her for 2 whole years. It was not hurried. She was treated like a VIP by them. A'ja was completely in charge of the design, choosing the materials by hand, and ensuring that the shoe communicated her narrative. She created her own unique logos. The details included hidden meanings. The pink Aurora colorway had significance and wasn't only for show. That trainer's every seam and curve was deliberate.
About the shoe, like the details, what some of the Easter eggs are. Ooh, yes, we have plenty of Easter eggs on here. Obviously, I feel like the biggest thing is the ring because it just looks amazing. You can see it in all aspects wherever you are. It's blinding, like, wow. Right. Show your eyes, show your eyes.
She briefly served as the spokesperson for WNBA merchandise, the league's top selling point. Interviews came flooding in. Courtside, her sneakers were being rocked by fans. Then, however, things began to change. The excitement subsided. Sales fell. Chatter on social media subsided. And Nike released a stunning new ad right when the focus was starting to wane. This time, it's for Caitlin Clark, not A'ja. The story abruptly shifted. Everything the A1 had going for it was immediately eclipsed by Clark's shoe campaign, which was accompanied by a surge of buzz, influencer support, and a viral internet reaction. It felt like someone else was quickly taking what had previously been A'ja's moment. The fact that Nike didn't even make a specially designed Caitlin Clark sneaker was the most absurd aspect. Just a limited edition Kobe 5 Pro PE with Caitlin in the ad, available in midnight navy, brilliant red, and university gold. But the excitement was incredible. Nike Basketball's X account released the 40-second ad for the new sneakers on Monday, June 29th, and it quickly went viral on Instagram and YouTube. Calm, focused, and locked in, Caitlin Clark is shown putting on her trainers in the opening scene of the advertisement. However, the camera focuses on her eyes as she tightens her grip on the laces. They change, slit, and glow yellow in an instant. It hits powerfully, yet it's a blink and you miss it shot. An homage to the legendary Black Mamba character of Kobe Bryant.
Bouncing connection. lays in on a delectable dime for Caitlin Clark.
The sneakers were sold out on Nike's website in less than a minute, indicating that everyone was watching. Less than a minute, really. There was a clear message conveyed by that moment. Caitlin Clark is doing more than just making a difference. The needle is her. The secondary markets then instantly exploded, with resale values rising from $300 to $600, as was to be predicted. An incredible increase over the initial price of $190 at launch. A'ja Wilson's shoes have been sitting unopened on the shelf since they were first shown to the public, gradually moving towards the clearing area. Nike made every effort to turn A'ja Wilson into their next great star before Caitlin arrived. They gave her a $20 million annual deal and assisted in creating compelling advertisements that portrayed her as the underdog. However, the unfortunate reality for A'ja is that you cannot impose what Clark inherently contributes. In her first season as a WNBA player, Caitlin Clark received a huge $28 million endorsement contract with Nike. A gesture that caused many people to raise their eyebrows. Legends and WNBA veterans questioned why a rookie was given such a large salary before she had even established herself in the league. However, all of that hubbub stopped as soon as Clark put on his Nikes and took to the court. Her presence, her skill, and the immediate spike in attendance and ticket sales were all very clear. She was more than a novice. She was a sensation. Furthermore, Nike's venture didn't seem risky at the time. It appeared to be a maneuver of power. While Clark was already making waves from her undergraduate days, Nike attempted to spoon-feed A'ja Wilson as much as they could. Her economic impact on the city of Iowa was an astounding $82 million. All the 23-year-old youngster needed to make an impression was a basketball and a hoop. But Nike was too preoccupied with fulfilling their social responsibility obligations to see the untapped potential that was there in front of them. Jordan Rogers, the former head of marketing for Nike Basketball, went public to criticize the company, claiming that they nearly lost their golden goose. While they were preoccupied attempting to create what A'ja Wilson lacked, their stocks fell to a 5-year low rather than concentrating on Caitlin Clark, the true moneymaker.
Her second career start, second in a row, and Clark stays red hot.
To make a difference, Wilson requires PR tours, influencer rollouts, full-fledged campaigns, and picture shoots. Clark, meanwhile, releases a single image. Then all of a sudden, a virtual crush of people is waiting to receive her outfit. What is actually consuming A'ja alive, do you know? Nike is now actively pursuing Clark after finally owning up to their error. Without a doubt, Wilson's CV appears incredibly polished on paper, but Clark is the one with the crazy pull. The most amusing aspect of it all is that Caitlin Clark is not very interested in being in the spotlight, in contrast to A'ja Wilson and her top dog mentality. Caitlin's modesty peaked during the post-game media availability following her first WNBA triple-double against the Atlanta Dream, and Aaliyah Boston was there to make fun of her for it.
But like obviously 13 assists, like that means my teammates made 13 shots off my passes, so that goes to them. But I mean, I don't know.
She's so humble, isn't she?
Well, I don't know what to say.
Let me tell
like,
you.
I mean, it's great.
That's
I don't know.
Pretty cool, Caitlin.
Well done, sister. And that's precisely what's making this whole thing so crazy. Clark isn't pleading for attention here. She is not requesting concessions from the league. She just appears, executes, and then drops jaws. Nike, however, is unable to maintain its shoe inventory. She is the subject of constant discussion on social media, and fans are turning up in historically high numbers. It is painful for A'ja Wilson to see all of this from the sidelines as she experienced the complete Nike release, the glamorous promotional campaigns, the brand collaborations, and the press tours. Not only do Clark's shoes perform far better than hers, but Caitlin didn't even attempt to make it work. That is the reason A'ja is furious. The idea that the league's newest superstar is outperforming everyone without even having to brag is more impressive than the figures or the hoopla. In the past, A'ja Wilson has used the racial card to disparage Caitlin Clark. She mentioned in a conversation at the 2024 NCAA Women's Final Four how Caitlin Clark had an edge because of her white privilege.
It's not really about me. She knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point, and also like she's good at basketball. Like she understands her privilege and like pushes her over the top. And it reminds me of.
Imagine Wilson's reaction as she watches from the sidelines as the player she once disregarded becomes the face of Nike's whole women's basketball collection in addition to the WNBA. Furthermore, it would be incorrect to characterize this as a social rivalry given the already brewing rumors of a complete Clark trademark series. The game has been totally overtaken by Caitlin Clark. This most recent development may push Asia over the brink if she was already furious. The present WNBA situation is a lot like the Nike feud between Asia Wilson and Caitlin Clark. They have absolutely collapsed after Caitlin hurt her groin in the game against the Seattle Storm. When Caitlin Clark is on the floor, it seems like no one is interested in women's basketball. The aggregate attendance for the 3 games this week is still less than Caitlin Clark's lowest viewership of the season, just to illustrate how horrible it is. An unimpressive 240,000 people watched Los Angeles Sparks versus Chicago Sky, which included Angel Reese, Clark's alleged competitor, as well as other celebrities including Kelsey Plum and Hailey Vanleth.
At Wintrust Arena as the Sky pick up win number 4 on the season, thanks to a career-high night from Camila Cardoso.
The Connecticut Sun and Asia Wilson's Las Vegas Aces follow, drawing a lackluster 100,000 viewers. When all 3 of these games are combined, there are 560,000 spectators overall. At 580,000 viewers, Caitlin Clark has the lowest viewership of the season. It's absurd. It was past time for Nike to acknowledge this fact and provide Caitlin Clark with the VIP treatment she so richly merits.